Hello, everyone. Welcome back if you are there. After 3 minutes, we found out that we were not live. Otherwise, we were on time, literally on time. Wonderful, wonderful. So, it's very hard to kind of like catch back the flow that of the last 3 minutes what I talked about. I don't even recall what was it, but I live in the moment. I think that's why vibe coding is my thing. I go literally in the moment, and just I remember that I pulled back this picture to kind of like say that I'm here for something I forgot. Like literally um, bringing AI education to the rest of us. And sorry about uh, giving you guys a very short lunch break, but it's replayable, so it's okay. You can take your lunch break longer. I want to go back home to my kids earlier, so therefore it would be nice if I can finish my business faster. Let me put the TV on here. Technology. It's loading. Okay, so we had like 4 hours long session earlier. We're gonna go for another 4 hours long session, but we have very clear things about what is. So we have a plan. It's going to be another 4 hours long. Sorry, it's going to be another 4 hours long session. Uh, it's only that limit of Riverside and also the limit of biological limit. Otherwise, I would be sitting here for another 10 hours. I love what I'm doing and I want to do it for all those 16 years old and all those people who are changing their careers and their getting into AI automation business. And I want to elevate everyone together with myself. It's not that I'm not learning, I'm also learning. I literally learned from Alan earlier today that there is an open router model for free from DeepSeek that we don't need API keys. And that means like literally NPX literally do this and then it's free. And I didn't know that. Like I learned it myself. NPX NA10. Pardon? Oh yeah. Uh, this has to be fixed. Oh yeah, still it's screen sharing is not there. Thank you for telling me. And where was it? Riverside here. For some reason, this Riverside is not so. For those of you who have interest in Vibe Stage, it's a project that I did in as a part of my crash course on vibe coding, and it evolved into what it is today is number two. It came here. It's coming. And then this vibes code. Where is it? Playlist. So literally this one, and here we built in this course we built Vibe Stage, Vibe Stage 1.0, and then in Vibe Stage 2.0 is this one that you can see here, like with all these things, and also we have these. It has a lot of features. I don't want to explain too much on that. What will this piece of software will have, and I'm requesting for contributors, is replacing this, replacing Riverside streaming. I already know how to do it, like the engineering side of it. It's clear for me. but I need contributors to do this. If you don't have any experience as an engineer, as a software engineer, it will be very, very complex. It's a very complex piece of software. You can vibe code it, but if you're an engineer, you would like to contribute to this VibeStage software, it's an open source project. I would love to talk to you. Reach out to me. Because Riverside, despite the fact it's a multi-million-dollar company, has a lot of shortcomings, and I know how to solve them so that we can chop out the entire streaming from that, and also eventually add screen recording to VibeStage. So those are two big pieces of VibeStage: screen recording and streaming. And then VibeStage will become like #1 stop for live streams. Okay. Where did we leave? We left off there going and having a deep dive onto JSON. So JSON is important. We discovered why it's important because we have a lot of moving data between nodes, and then that's important. That needs to be done. Now, the next step for us is to install Postman. So step number 1, 2, 3 starts now. Go to Postman, download Postman, and then sign up Postman. I believe you guys can do it. I don't need to show you which menu to click and what. Eventually, you need to see this. So literally, you need to see a software like this once you run it. So I'm going to give you guys, let's say, 3 minutes for this. Have you ever seen the longest charger, 5-meter long charger? There is power plug there. Oh, there. Does it work? Yep, all good. Today is day 1 of our 2 days long workshop, and we're in person, just a few people, but we are online. Hey, where are you? There. But online, we are way more. Therefore, I'm calmly speaking because we're in a breakout room right now. So that means like literally in 23 seconds, we're going back to business. And I'm being live streamed with this little iPhone connected here and having like a screen like this. Yep, there we go. And being projected there. And if you want to join the next one, the next workshop, Building Voice AI Agents, it's happening on 30th of August. Same format, hybrid, in person, and as well, well, the in person there will not be 5 people, will be more. We're going back to our normal format. And you're going to learn how to build a voice AI agent. So stay tuned. We'll see each other soon. Okay. I'm just for you guys, sorry for the interruption. I'm getting into the short business, like building some more content for Reels, for what is it called? For Instagram and TikTok. So more content coming there. Obviously not this kind of promotional so much, only promotional when I have some nice content around, but mostly educational content, like for example, these little tips and tricks and so on. Okay, so let's go back. You have your Postman installed. And your Postman says something around in the lines of something like this. Probably a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. What is Postman? Let's go in a whiteboard and find out what is Postman. So Postman is an API testing tool. What is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay. And what is an API? It's just a way of connecting systems, a way of connecting two systems. Let's call them System A and System B. When you want to connect these two systems together, you need to use an API. And these APIs talk to each other through a specific protocol. And these specific protocols, guess what? They're mostly using JSON. So you just learn how to do JSON. So they're sending something to each other via a JSON, and then they're receiving back another JSON. So that communication between these systems happen through a JSON. And that JSON is usually sitting somewhere in between the payload or request, but it also goes with the names called request and response. So they request with some JSON, they get a response with some JSON. Or these are also called HTTP request and HTTP response. But nevertheless, these two systems talk to each other with that JSON approach in mind. And the way they do is using an architecture called API. Okay. Now we built this really interesting thing where we did a very nice chat interface with this memory thing, but it won't be of any use if it always sits in this. Let's say the system A for us in this particular use case was the browser. And the system B was, in this use case, was the NA10 AI agent. It wouldn't be of any use for us if we have to use all the time the UI of the browser or the UI of NA10. We need to strip it out of the UI so that we can use it somewhere else. Okay? So for that, we need the API. And in order to do the API, you need to use a few different nodes that we will see in just a minute. But in order to test this, we will replace these system A's and system B's time to time to test these little systems in isolation. So now, my system A was the browser. I'm going to change it to Postman. Why? Because I want to test if this is working. Once this is done, then the system A becomes NA10, system B becomes, well, maybe system A becomes 11 Labs, so that it can send the voice message, the transcript of the voice message. System B becomes NA10. And then NA10 sends something back to 11 Labs, and then it talks. So that's how this whole thing works. And in order to test my N8N workflows, I need Postman so that I can test it locally. Locally means like in isolation. So the way you operate this software is like you click on this plus button, and then you need to know these little things, which we'll explain in a minute. And you need to know this little button, which we'll need to know, we'll explain it in a minute, and then this little button, literally those things. And then inside this box, you need to know this, obviously the send button, the URL, the body we'll talk about, and then once we do an API request, then you'll get to know more about these two little boxes. That is like the request part and the response part, which you'll know in just a minute. Now, I have a workflow sitting around this workflow that I built earlier, which is doing some chat with me, but nothing else. It just has like an AI agent node. What if I change this? I have some smileys thinking, guys. Let me keep an eye on my YouTube channel to make sure that everything is running fine. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. So, Thomas, VibeStage. For those of you who don't know VibeStage, it's HTTPS. It's a link you go to, and then you can send me emojis and things like that. When you send that, then I get this on my screen, no matter where I am. And if you send a question here, then I receive a hand gesture, and then I know that there is a question. Why is it down? Oh, the question feature is not working. Let me restart VibeStage. Which one was it? This is the N8N. This is the Samantha that we give the presentation earlier. This is VibeStage. So there you go. So then I will receive a question like this here, and then I can talk to you guys. We should not pay a subscription to Postman or free. Free is enough. The subscription, the Postman free is enough. So you ask your questions, and then I'll connect there, and then you can connect with me and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alrighty. So now these system A and Bs will change. They will change time to time. I will put Postman to N8N, and then we'll switch it and then put 11 labs to N8N. In order to do that, the step number 1, 2, 3 starts now. Step number 1, select this chat window. Step number 2, delete it. Step number 3, add webhook from here. Add webhook. I'm repeating it one more time. So step number 1, select the chat window, delete it. Step number 2, add webhook with that little light on it. And then that's it. Until here we go, and then we will see what happens next. Yes, so I'm looking for contributors for, there was a question, what exactly I'm looking for contributors. So there is a repository called VibeStage on my GitHub. And then you can do this one and this one and this one, but these are old, like you can see this 2 weeks ago, this is last month. On my computer, I have more of that setting. If somebody is interested in contributing, then we can talk about it. And this was an idea that I had at the time when I started 2 months ago. Sounds like at the time like past. I came up with this image trying to project myself that I want to have a software like this. At the time, I had an idea of like running it on an external monitor, which I did. As the first version, it was that one, but then I thought about like merging it in the same monitor, in which I did. If you guys are happy to help here, I'm looking for contributors. Anyways, so we got here, we changed that webhook, but pay attention here, you have this little thing that is disconnected here, this little thing. This needs to be connected. So like literally take it and then snap it there. So make sure that it's connected. Once it's connected, then I would like you to double click this and then change this method from get to post. We'll come to it, what is post, what's get in just a minute. Just do what I say. Do that, click on listen for test events. Listen for test events. And then it's now in the listening mode. Like literally this little icon blinking here means it is right now listening. What is listening? So system A and B are now in thing. So the system B is listening mode. Like that is now N8N is listening to some information coming from Postman. So now I'm going to take this URL, copy that URL, click on that URL, it copies it, and then you go to Postman, and then in same way, in this list, you need to change this get to post. And then paste the URL in here, the URL that you have copied. And then the next step is go to the body, select raw, and then from JSON, from the text, select JSON. So those are all these steps. Let's go and put that to Postman Basics here somewhere, and also this one. Okay, now I have copied this URL, right? I pasted it here. And in this area, just put a message called query, and I will say, hi, my name is, hi, how are you? Just let's make it super simple. Hi, how are you? Time is running. Let's do two steps in one time. Hi, my name is Amal, and then put this session ID in here. And this could be ABC123. That's it. I'm gonna put this JSON copy. Also put this one here, so you guys can see the payload from this object. Okay. I'll give you guys like literally 2 minutes to do that, because you have the video, you can rewind it, then we can go there. Let's go for 2 minutes and do that yourself. Thank you. Whoever is sending those emojis, thank you. I love you too. Seconds. You guys can always find this little timer on my screen, which is also, yeah. Can someone quickly? Okay, so I'm gonna reset the timer here and look at the questions. Could you please repeat one more time, Postman? You can also so for those who submit a question that can you please repeat, I always repeat 1 or 2 times in the first place, but I will show you how to do it like this. So you can like literally go here. For example, I did it here. Instead of me repeating it 1 more time and then the recording goes as a 1 more repeating, you take this and then go a little bit backwards and then play it from there and then follow the instructions. And also in the Notion page, I'm now trying to kind of like leave this kind of detailed screenshots and in order to find out what to do first. So step number 1, you go here. Step number 2, you paste this URL that you copied it from, and 2 and 3. This way, I think you'll be much faster. You'll be more kind of like take everyone together with us up, so that other guys can also follow. But it's okay. Like literally, it's okay if we leave the keyboards and I go in one go and build the whole thing in front of you. Why? Because it's recorded video, and then you can sit together next week and then do it. For me, it's important that this entire application is done in 2 days so that we leave some recordings on the internet. Like literally, we started with 74 people, and now I see 25 people watching, and I don't care. Despite the fact that this is kind of like hurting me a little bit, we had 784 people register. Why do you have the FOMO to register? Don't register, please. And don't give me the hope that there will be like 200 people online. I always got in a fight with my wife. She was saying like, nobody will get online, and she was right. Even 795, damn. That's just FOMO, pure FOMO registration. Like they're having this fear of missing out. They register and they screw up my numbers. But only 25 fighters are online. And I believe that 25 of you, I challenge you guys to sit until the end. I believe you guys will also leave. And only time will tell. Who exactly will stay? I will only know it from the comments here, because then I can see your name. Anyways, so let's get to work. Just to reiterate, I'm not here for the online audience right now only, and I'm not here for the 4 or 5 of us in the room only. Although I love all of you equally, but I'm here for the artifact of these 2 days. I'm here for this recording. This recording that's going on, like 54 GB data that we generated, and also this raw material that we are generating as we go. But I highly recommend, if you can follow it, the mechanics that you can follow, this will make your life much easier to follow along later on. Okay, let's go for the greater good. So now I have this workflow running in here. Where was it? I think it was here somewhere. Yeah. And make sure that this is in the execution mode. This is a moment that you can really mess. This is a moment you can really mess. It's a very important moment. If this is not in the running mode, you're going to mess it, I believe. You're going to get stuck. Make sure this is in the running mode. And you make sure that you see this spinning animation here. And then I'm going to just put this on the other side, but you can decide not to put it however you wish. You have 2 screens, whatever. Now, what's going to happen is when I click on the send button, this URL is taken, like literally request is going to this guy. So what happens is now this is my system A, and this is my system B. So I'm going to now literally push some information from one side to another side using a so-called application programming interface. So I'm doing an API call by clicking the send button. The send button is taking literally all of this data that you see in here. This data is sent over the wire to this webhook. Like literally it happens as soon as I click this send button. Pay attention. It's running. It happened like right in as a flashlight. You see there is now a green check mark. So this API request from Postman happened when I clicked on that button, okay? Now, let's go there one more time. This has an error. I know what's the error, and we're going to go and fix it. But right now, what we did is something that that you need to know. It's an API call. It was literally, if somebody says, what's an API? People give this example of waiter in kitchen. We talk to the waiter goes to the kitchen. Well, that metaphor is good, it's okay. But this is API, like one system is sending information to another system, that's it. And that system works on it and then sends a response back to it. Where is the response? Here. This is the response. I'm gonna do it one more time, but after fixing this. So if I go here, double click, you will see that it is asking me there is no session ID. Why? Because this memory needs some session ID. This memory needs to remember something. If I click on memory, it says session ID, but it doesn't know anything about it. In order to, pardon me, to define your session ID, you click on that, and then you need to give it a key. So now step number 1, 2, 3 coming. Step number 1, double click on simple memory. Step number 2, select define below. So it's by default like this. So step number 1, you click on simple memory. So that's your step number 1. This is for associating simple memory ID, okay? So step number 1 is you click on that little thing. Step number 2 is once you are in, then you literally open this drop down and then select define below. So this is obviously happening number 1 and number 2. This is your step number 2, so that you can follow up in the breakout time. And then step number 3 is once you click the define below, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see the whole thing. And then click on schema and then collapse this thing. So collapse and then drag and drop session ID to the key. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Like this. It should look something like this. Okay, once you do that, and then you go out, and then you put your workflow in the execution mode, and then you go and click on the send button, it will work. But what you will see is this thing. Workflow was started. You will not see the response that came back from ChatGPT, which if you go and see this little, however it's called, this drag area, you can drag this thing back and forth. And also you can resize this thing like this. What you will find out is the output is, as of 2024, the population of Germany is approximately 84 million people. Why? Because our prompt is saying this. If you have this setup, we'll fix this right after the breakout room so that you guys can do this entire setup that I did. Let's give it 3 minutes. Three minutes.
So for me, for some reason, when I add just the webhook by itself, it executes from the Postman. But as soon as I connect it to the agent, it gives me error. It doesn't go through. Isn't this supposed to come to the simple memory?
It's you're jumping 2 steps ahead. I'm coming to this respond to webhook in a minute.
No, I'm here. I wanted to do the key in the define, but I don't get. So the JSON and schema should be coming from this webhook, yeah?
Yeah. Save it, refresh. I know this. It's a bug. Save it, refresh it, then do the whole thing. You'll see. All right. So let's resume. We have now a very nice little gadget running there. So we have my prompt was saying what's the population of Germany. I can change this prompt by doing the following things. Like I will collapse this little thing. Let me see. What was the... This is Postman, right? Still it's Postman. I think this is enough of Postman to show, and I will open another task here. We're done with Postman installation and basics. I'll call it Postman Basics. And then I'm going to start a new goal for us to N8 webhooks. Let's call it N8 webhook, so that we can get inside the nitty-gritty details of N8 webhooks. Okay? So we already have added an N8 webhook here, right here in the workflow. But when we execute this, the problem is that instead of like a message coming out of that thing, that AI agent, I'm seeing that workflow was started. I want to see exactly what was the response coming from ChatGPT. So this is how you can solve that. So in webhook, these are the step number 1, 2, 3. So step number 1, double click on this one. Step number 2, select this and then change it to respond to webhook. So it goes like this. Okay, so the respond to webhook in N8 goes as we saw. You select this respond to webhook, you go back to the canvas, and then on the other side, you add another thing called respond to webhook. So step number 1, 2, 3 is like this. Step number 1, step number 2, you type here respond to webhook. Step number 3 goes like this. So once that happens, you get this kind of a system. You just basically get out of there. It should be attached like this. That's it. Now, if I execute this, I see this error inside the system message, which says like, what should I do with this? I will just keep it chat with the first trigger, and if I keep executing it, it will run. And if I execute my N8 workflow one more time, it executes, but then it says like, what do I do with this? You pick it. This is important. I will do the step 1, 2, 3 here. So when you see this error, this no prompt specified, you go to the system, double click on the AI chatbot, and then from here, you click step number 1 here, step number 2 here. Once you do that, then you provide, so you collapse it from there, and then you provide a question here like, answer this question. Or you don't have to even write that. You can just literally just drag and drop that message in here. That's it. So that drag and drop this in here. In order to get there, you need to make sure that you are running the workflow. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, so now I have this system. If I execute it and I put this back together and show it one more time, it's in the execution mode. What's supposed to happen is that, look what happens. So from this URL, it finds this and then goes here. In this, there's going to be some processing happening in here. And this processing happens inside the system, and then it goes and then sends it back to this node, which is the respond to webhook URL. And during this processing, you will notice that it uses this system, it uses this system. And then once the entire workflow is done, and then this guy will send the response back to me in the system, Postman. And now this is my system A, and this is my system B. My system A is Postman. My system B is N8N. And please pay attention to this payload. This payload is also sent through this webhook URL. So all of that information is going. This thing becomes my request JSON, and this thing becomes my response JSON. So you see the JSON here. Now there will be a JSON in there. All of them are happening literally with no coding, like literally zero coding required. And there's a lot of concepts right now going on here. There are a lot of moving pieces. And if you followed along in the past couple of hours, you know every single bit of this in a great detail manner. So let's execute this and see. It was not in the execution manner. And it's running. Sorry, it's in this listening mode. You need to keep an eye on this thing. So it's running. And now I am going to send the request again. You can see that it worked. Voila. It worked. And this is the piece of information that you are really looking for. Okay. Now, I will do another round of quick introduction, okay? So what is an API? An API is nothing but a system that can take information from one system, takes it through basically this is the API. It is taking information from one system, sends it to another system, and then takes it back from that system. So that's system A, that's system B. We provide this URL. We provide a payload. In this case, being this was our payload, right? Our query Inside this query, this was a JSON. We learned how to read JSONs, so you can see that. This is the element. Everything you in here, you know what is it. And then after that JSON, it was sent to this URL. This is the URL, the webhook URL that we got it from here. And then once it arrived, it went to this entire workflow. It executed everything that it could in this entire world. And then due to respond to webhook, it sent it back. And then I got this thing. Hello, Emil. Nice to meet you. How can I help you today? Now, if I ask this question, what's my name? And I send it over. Obviously, you need to make sure that the workflow is running. If I say go, it will come back and say like, your name is Emil. And this is insane. Like this level of programming, if you would have done it with code, it would take you like forever. And we did it in great detail and explain it, and it's working very, very well. What I will also do is I will also copy this entire JSON and put this thing here and here, call it N8N workflow JSON. There we go. So the way you can do this is a very important piece of information that from now on, we're going to go faster and faster. And the reason is this particular thing, what I did. I'm going to keep posting this little thing here, N8N workflow JSON. And if you mouse over, you will see this copy feature, because I'm not going to go in this level of detail for the rest of the course, because we want to finish the entire N8N and hopefully most of it today. So tomorrow we do 100% vibe coding. So the secret to that is like this copy button, if you know how to do it. Now, imagine if your workflow is not working. Imagine if the workflow you're running is not working, but my workflow is running, right? Working. So you need to follow these instructions. I'll send you this. You copy this. And then you go to your browser. You go to another workflow. Let's call this thing webhook. And let's create a new one. And then in here, you just basically paste it. And then you should have every single piece of setting that I have in place. And there's one more thing in the same setup, but on the Postman side. On the Postman, if you click on this little thing, you will get a piece of code here, this piece of code. I copy this, I paste it here, and I call it curl, Postman CURL. And then you copy this and do the same thing with Postman. How do you do that? Copy, go to Postman. I'm going to make it bigger so you know. Click on plus. Probably you don't need to click on a plus. Click on the import, paste it here, voila. Like literally everything is set up in the way that it should be. All right, so with that, we're pretty much done with N8N webhook. Since this other part was very, very important, I'm going to make another goal for that, which is using Postman CURL and N8N JSON template. So we're done with the webhook. We're going to I'll quickly do the documentation of what I've done here in order to enable you guys to follow along. faster. So step number one would be copy the code. How you copy the code, for example, from here, you need to copy the code like this. This is just for the sake of completeness of the screenshot. Let's do it like this. You do that as the first step. And then after the copy of the code is done, let's organize it underneath Postman. And then you go to your Postman, make it bigger. And then click on this one. And then paste it here. So literally click here, paste here. I hope that is good enough, clean enough. So Notion. Okay. So that's the way you load your Postman. The way you load your n8n template or n8n JSON template, however it's called, export JSON or JSON template, is as following. You go to your n8n, you go to first your piece of work that you have on these cards, let's say webhook, and then you go on that copy thingy, and then you take a full, you take a screen, no, you don't take a screenshot for me. You go to kind of like copy the code, JSON code that I have provided. And then after that, you open your n8n, obviously a new n8n instance. And right here, do nothing but just paste with Command plus V or Control plus V. Windows is Control plus V, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So that goes there. I see questions are coming. I'll attend the questions in just a minute. Okay. So that should give you guys clear view of how things work. Wait a minute, I have one more step to do to make sure that this goes here. And then we have like,
But JSON may not work depending on the version.
it could be a version, yeah, you're right, a version discrepancy. Okay, so now we have, this card is very important. This is kind of like a setup card. If you go through these screenshots, then you should be able to follow along this tutorial much faster. And I think this is all the learnings that I'm having. The next time when I do this, this Notion page will be a great source of information for us. Okay, so we already did this. What is JSON? We did basics of JSON, so I can delete this card. Okay, what's next on our workflow? Guys, it's getting really, really interesting. The next step is to, let me give you guys some time to digest this. I'm going to do a little bit of a recap, give you guys some time to digest this, and then we go to Supabase. Right away, we go to Supabase. Let me check the live session. 28 people. Enough. The voice quality is good. Oh no, there is no voice. No, there is. Okay. So now we are going to do the following thing. We already have our requirements set up. We want to store information about a requirement, like about a note that we have. And we know how to connect these system 1 and system 2s. Thank you for the emojis. And now we want to go in and build a Supabase database so that inside that Supabase database, we can store these little nodes. I don't want to store these little nodes in Google Sheet or something. Well, I can't because these are so-called in vector database. Now it's the time for some theory, some nice theory that will open your mind on how ChatGPT works. This is very, very big question, like how ChatGPT works. What's a vector database? So let's go first, find out, write down here something like how ChatGPT works. Or no, let's say, what is vector database? Let's start from that very simple version of this, and then we'll go to the next steps. It's also the same thing as how ChatGPT. It's getting complex otherwise. I would like to keep it as simple as possible, and at the same time, not overly simplify it. But the question is like, what is a vector database or a vector DB? The representation that you can think of is if you start like trying to minimize information, how would you do that? Let's say if you have two friends, friend number one, let's actually name them Christina, correct? Mm-hmm. Christina is one friend. She wants to send a message to another friend, Amal. And we have a table somewhere, like an algorithm, something. She sends me 1 for 76. I understand that, and I send her back. Let me see if I have enough space for that. That's enough space. And I send her back 45, 67, 98. And imagine we have communicated over that thing, but what we meant was, hi, how are you doing? Will you come today in CIC? And it was condensed with that much. And the response would be, no, I am sick. I can't come. For example, I'm just making a huge amount of leap of assumptions. It's not like that, but this is exactly what the underlying content goes like. So the way it works is like this. You have a so-called let me quickly do that. Which way is the vector? So imagine if you have a three-dimension vector. It's very hard to explain complex ideas in easy way. And then each little circle defines one piece of information. Okay? And it's a 3D dimension. Again, I'm not able to explain it because there's a lot of mathematics here in simple terms, but I will try to explain it in simple terms. If it's a three-dimensional matrix, what's a matrix? I don't know. Like, it's a 3D space of representation of information. And imagine if that little dot is one piece of information, that little dot is another piece of information, that is another, and each and every single one of them is one piece of information. What can that be? That can be a name, a location, a person, an interest, a word in English language, an attribute, an adjective, or whatever it is. For the sake of our example, we're going to do this. We're just curating that example of who is the name of the girl I met in AI Builder. It's Christina. Now, imagine that is Christina. That information is Christina. I'm just putting an arrow here and saying that this is Christina. And I have some extra pieces of information near to that. So, for example, there's another piece of information near to it, says pad and ball. Another piece of information near to that says what was it? AI Builders, for example. So at least I got 2 pieces of information. I'm going to color it differently. Let's say I'll color it blue. And the actual subject that I want to search is this color, let's say purple. And the way I can search it is like this. I say, I want to search this information that is invisible. I don't know about it. And then ChatGPT goes and then puts a so-called nearest, it finds the nearest information around that. And let's imagine it goes and scans that little area, and it finds that, hey, there is one person, and it's a name. It could be Christina. And it finds it from where? From the other pieces of information. That's how the brain of ChatGPT works under the hood. And that's how the brain of RAG works under this. It's called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So this is how the basics of underlying worlds of this thing works. And there's a lot more to it. Probably a data scientist right now watching this is going to curse me that says that, that's not how this is working. It's working like this and that. Yes, but I'm trying to oversimplify this to someone who doesn't know anything about AI and mathematics and everything else. But at the end of the day, what happens is it is reducing, or it's changing text into numbers. That's the whole thing it does. And now let's see how does this work. we need to do certain things. Like if I get this piece of information, this piece of information needs to be first chunked. There are these chunking and embedding, okay? One process that it goes through is called chunking. And one process it goes through is called embedding. Chunking is doing this, like literally taking this and then puts it in small parts. Imagine it if every single line is one chunk. If that's one chunk, it creates one chunk, chunk number 2, chunk number 3, and so on, so that it can be stored somewhere. But it creates a little bit of an overlap between the chunks so that it can also chain them together. And then imagine if this chunk was another piece of information. Let's say this was cut in here, and then there is another piece of information going here. And then this U, or will U, is coming as the next chunk. I'm just gonna do the example here with Christina, but it's the same thing with Emil. Now, after the chunking, it's the embedding part. I'm gonna go quickly to my Supabase where I have some embeddings and copy paste it just to make the point, but we'll do that in a minute together. So it looks something like this. It's a lot of values. If I load it right here, just for the sake of example, it's you guys got to know what is an array. It is an array separated with comma, represented with some numbers. It's not those numbers that I mentioned here. For the sake of simplicity, I just put those numbers, but it is these numbers like this. It's a lot of them, so I'm not going to copy paste all of them, but I'm just going to copy paste enough of them to make the point that this is called embedding. So when you see this, you're not afraid of what it is. What is this? So then it looks something like this. Okay, now the embedding happened. I stored the embedding. Now, when the question comes, this is the embedding of Christina, and this embedding will point Christina in a specific place. It's this embedding that places that dot of Christina in here, not here, not there, not there, but in here. And when the question comes, imagine if the question is this gray box. The gray box is, let's say, that is the query. What's the name of the girl I met in AI Builders where we played pad and ball? So this question is the part that is also embedded. And when the embedding happens, same thing happens with the question. So the chunking and the embedding again happens with the question as well. So the entire question here is now embedded, chunked. Let's imagine that this is the same embedding happening there, or a little bit differently done. I'm just going to go and grab some other values to make the point. So the question does this, and then it places there, and then you get a chunk of data. Like you get out as a result the chunks of data. And then these chunks of data, if imagine this is time series, this entire thing is time series. Over time, then you get like 1 chunk, 2 chunk, 3 chunk. That's how re-ranking and everything works. And then all of these chunks are then given to an LLM. Here, All of these chunks are given in the next step to ChatGPT, for example, for cleanup. So that's how this entire workflow works. These are the chunks, returned chunks. And then this is basically the cleanup process. And then the final response is generated from here. That says, the girl you met is called Christina. It's just one sentence, but it comes from all of that whole world of information. All right? So let's move this to your what's vector database here? Okay. Now what do we do next? This was theory. I just want to spit it out so that you guys can get a little bit more insights around this whole idea of how these how the brains under the hood works. I promise the next ones are going to be really, really interesting because we're going to actually do these steps. So let's put this here. The next step is installing and creating Supabase. So basically, Supabase setup. We're going to create the entire Supabase setup, the database setup of Supabase, and then we go to ingestion, retrieval, and then we should be done for the day. Supabase ingestion, retrieval. So we create a workflow where we ingest this data. That's basically simple data that says like, I met this person, his name is this, his LinkedIn profile is this, and we spoke about this. That's it. And then we're good to go. Alrighty. So let me quickly check this and then say goodbye. Supabase. Germans call it Supabase. You're leaving, Christina. Let's say goodbye to Christina, and then we resume to the next one. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming, and see you in the next events. Follow the recordings there. Ask questions. Stop by at CIC and let me help and let me see what you built.
Yeah, we'll read you new.
Sure. For getting out, I think you don't need any lock, any key. If you need it, call someone from the WhatsApp group. You will find everyone in the WhatsApp group. Okay? Wonderful. Okie dokie. So now we need to do Supabase installation and Supabase registration and everything. So now it's the time for step number 1, 2, 3. Okay? Step number 1, 2, 3 goes now. Go to supabase.com. I will explain what Supabase in the breakout room time. And then you should see something like start your project. Click on start your project. Sign up. Once you signed up, you should see a similar area like this where you can click on new project. Literally go and find yourself out to this place where you can click on the new project button, and then you arrive in this area. Okay, then after that, you should be able to get to new project. apply. And you should fill this form. Okay, so once you have created your project, you should see something like the ones that I have here, something like this, with a menu bar like that. All right, so once you're there, then we resume. Let me give you guys something around 3 minutes to get there. If any blockers, then we will tackle them by then. Until then, let me quickly go to YouTube and see what's going on there. Okay, so time is up from our breakout. Let me see. Where should I put 1 hour, 18 minutes? Let's assume those 12 minutes as well. 3 hours, that makes it 3 hours. 2 hours. Let's put 2 hours, 20 minutes more to the timer so that we know when to stop the stream. Okay, I hope in the next 2.5 hours, what we are able to do would be the following. We can ingest data and we can query it. But before I go there, I would like to show you guys something that I already have in place. And then we'll go and build it, okay? So let me see, where are we here? Here. So the setup I believe the setup is done, so I'm going to move the setup down there. But if you guys had any problems, then we can tackle them in a minute. So I will do this thing called rag demo. And I'll leave some information there. I didn't follow this timestamp thingy. Let's call it part 2. And the current timestamp, we take it from the CAT timestamp. Because then, since the entire screen is being recorded, then you guys can, from the Google timesheet, can go here, and then wherever I am, here, from this little place, you can find the minute of the video where you should be looking at. Most often I'm showing the clock here, so it should be searchable. Because for me, it's very hard to find the exact timestamp because the timestamp here is going in the reverse order. It's a minus number. It's easy to follow the actual timestamp of the clock. So that's the timestamp of this particular rag demo that you can find. Now, part 2 means like after the break, so that's the part 2. Actually, I can also link the video here to the time. It doesn't have a time feature. At least link the video. But it's going to be the same link for all the parts. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how is the rag working, and we're going to go and build that particular one. My apologies if it failed because I was like really, really busy. I spent zero amount of hours in everything that I have shown so far in preparation of this, and zero amount of time in rehearsing. So therefore, there might be things that are failing. If it fails, then we go in and build it and find it by ourselves, like together. And that's what kind of like my way of things are. Like I want to do it in the raw way without editing so that you guys can learn how to fix things. So let's go to the next step, demoing part. I have a table, and that table is called documents. It has content, it has metadata, and it has embedding that you guys saw earlier. And that embedding is like all these numbers that makes RAG possible, these intelligent searches possible. And it has nodes like this that goes around the content of Dev and Christina, the two people I met, and I want to do RAG about. And we will do the ingestion of a new one. I should see a new record in here. So literally the first thing is this table, this data here. This is what we are going to check. And the next step is to go to the ingestion pipeline, to the workflows. I have an ingestion pipeline. So I will go and find that out. It's this one. This is the pipeline. How this thing works, we will get to know that in a minute. This is basically the whole LinkedIn of this. And I'm going to, for this one, pick Alan as the test subject here. So I'm going to find Alan here. That's Alan. I'm going to pick Alan's LinkedIn profile from here. And then I'm going to go here in the workflow and click on Edit and provide Alan's data. And these are all the steps that we can automate in order to get it from LinkedIn. And then he's also in Berlin, Germany. And now I have a memory note about Alan because he is typeboxing. did you say Thai boxing? Yeah. And I did kickboxing. So we had like literal memory note that we will remember that whenever we meet again. But you and I know each other from multiple interactions. So I may have done this in the very first meeting that we did, 17th of Samantha, the big one, yeah, the 17th of May. So I'm going to take a note there. Alan and I met on 17th of May when I did the Samantha Gmail inbox meetup, and he gave me a nice testimonial, video testimonial. And then the second time we met was in another monthly workshop where I got to know that he did Thai boxing for multiple years. And we exchanged a little bit about kickboxing and Kung Fu. I think that's enough mental note that I can take about this particular example. I'm going to take a quick screenshot of this. So I fill this as a demo part to this Rack demo. And you guys may also need to see the payload, the JSON payload. So I'm going to put that as well as a code. Okay, now is the time of the year. If it worked, fingers crossed, because this is the thing that I didn't prepare. I just put them together and ran. I think this happened this morning or sometimes. When was it? The last time I did it was, I don't know, like July 22nd. Yeah, it was created July 22nd, but I never ran it. And then you can see, yeah, July 26th. Look, July 22nd, I ran it a couple of times. And then July 22nd, last night, I ran it at literally 12 a.m. I ran it. This morning, I'm doing the demo, so please bear with me if it fails. It may fail or it may not fail. But this is exactly what we're going to build in the next couple of hours. So what I have here is a workflow, which you'll see the JSON and everything in a minute. And if it works, then I should see one row in here in this Supabase. So if I click on the execute, and I can capture that, I think I captured it. For this, when I execute it, yes, I captured the animation. I like this animation of N8N so much. So execute the workflow, see the workflow, the JSON workflow below. So here is the JSON, N8N JSON workflow. Okay, isn't there a way I can make this thing light, like smaller and height? This is way too long. I don't want it too long. I want it to be scrolled. No idea. I'll just keep it in the end. Okay, so this worked. This workflow worked. You can see here a couple of things happening. This is amazing. Like what we see here is a world full of knowledge and everything. So you can click things around in here, and then you can see when I click, you see chunking happen here. Well, this was not a big data. We didn't chunk it. But this is what I was talking about, like embedding. Like right now, you see the embedding that we're using is from OpenAI embedding. And this is what OpenAI embedding did. Like this OpenAI embedding was the reason that we got all those numbers. And all those numbers came from that theory that we just had before. So all these numbers are now stored in the database, these numbers, in the database, which is here. And if I refresh, I should have Alan. There we go. I have Alan. You see that? So now, not only this, but also the embeddings are stored. So Alan's data is so-called vectorized, or it is chunked, embedded, and vectored and stored in the vector database. So now this part is the easy part. We chunk it, store it. Now the next part of this is very interesting. I got the information here, but how can I retrieve it back? Let's go to the retrieval part of the demo. So the retrieval part is like this. Let's get out of here. And this is the retrieval part. And it works like this. I'm going to just hide everything here. It is a chat window for now. We'll change things here. We'll put a webhook. We'll integrate it with our voice interface. We'll create a web application to kind of like take notes. If you don't want to talk to the microphone, we will put a microphone button there so that you don't want to do with a phone call and so on. That's coming next. But here it's a chat window, and I can open the chat. And this is already connected with my database. So now, if I ask this question, very fuzzy terms, what is the name of this person I met on my workshop on 17th of May, where I give this Gmail inbox skill set to Samantha, and he gave me a video testimonial. And the second time I met him was somewhere, I think it was in the July workshop where we spoke about kickboxing and kung fu and stuff. I forgot his name. What's his name? So now I'm doing a query, and this query goes to the system, and then it is embedded. Like literally, this query is embedded, and then after the execution of this, look, there is this execution going on. A result comes in. So N810 RAG ingestion JSON workflow template. N810 RAG. Let's put that at the end of the document. Or retrieval. Okay, so this is just so that we can capture it. So I just asked a question, and look what happened. It went, so this question was vectorized, okay? This question on the fly, it was vectorized is the term that is used. And then in here, the embedding happened. Look. the embedding happened here. And then the name of the current person you met on 17th of July and Gmail. Alan, there you go. So it brought back the name to me. And then the answer happened. So all of this is happening over like literally a workflow. And that's a very fuzzy term, fuzzy search. Like, look at that. This piece of information that I was looking for is right there. And this is the power of AI automations with low code, no code. And it blows my mind. Like, literally, the amount of knowledge you need to gain for this is a weekend job, knowing where to click. And the outcome of this has real-time outcomes. And this is extremely interesting. And I'm super passionate about this. Like, look, the embeddings happened. All the information was stored on the fly, literally by putting a few boxes together. It's insane. And still, this chat window still have not only the information that Alan can do, I can still ask about the other two people I have in the database. What's the name of the person who was my first subscriber, YouTube subscriber? I hope I will see this. There we go. It goes with nickname Div. His name is this, like still. Another person, Christina. What's the name of the girl I met in AI Builders and we played pattern ball? Look. Lovely. That is amazing. Like, literally, your memory is being expanded with AI, and we learn it in a day. It's mind-blowing. I want to just take a moment and see this. Like, I got Alan's, only 3 examples, but it just worked off the shelf without much of work. And I put together this literally by not doing much. I just did this early in the morning, 6 a.m. I woke up, I spent some time, and I put these things together, and I was not really ready to finish this, and it worked. Imagine if I spent enough time on this, or I'm not a good programmer. Well, I'm a good, I don't know, I'm doing it for 23 years. I just want to be humble. But what if a good programmer, like me or anyone else, spends enough time on such a solution? You will build amazing tools with this. What we just saw in this demo is just the start of something big happening in the world. We're going to build software by people who are literally not aware of software. Like Christina, she used to be a kindergarten teacher, and I think there will be thousands and thousands of people who are going to change their careers from anything else to this AI native developers. And I believe we're doing a great thing to humanity, because humanity needs a lot more software. The whole world is buried under bureaucratic processes, paperwork from Germany to Afghanistan. And all those processes, businesses, governments, they change to AI automation. They change their systems. They build things like this, from a kindergarten teacher to a plumber to a product manager to a software engineer. Any kind of occupation starts learning how to build their own digital products, literally with English language. This is a superpower we can give to the whole humanity. And I'm so proud of being a small part of this. It's so emotionally touching me. And I'm therefore trying to do my part in democratizing AI education and taking it everywhere in the world with all this setup, the YouTube, all the crazy content I'm pushing on the internet. Whew, that was a lot of fun. All packed in one little card. We're done with the demo. Let's build it now. Okay, let's build it. Thank you. Thank you. We have 1 hour, 58 minutes left before this session ends. This current live session ends. And I think we'll keep it like that for today so that we can follow the same pattern tomorrow, 4 hour, 4 hour, in between one break. Tomorrow, maybe I can give you guys 1 hour lunch break so that we can socialize more. I really like their socializing part.
Bring our food tomorrow.
Yes, please bring out your food tomorrow so we can use this this kitchen area. So then we can go on to the next step. Before going on, let's take a small break. I will bring some coffee. Anyone else wants? Wait a minute, Faisal, we'll go together because there's only one key. Anyone else wants to go to the restroom, then they can also go. Let's go, all of us. Then we'll leave you guys here alone. Don't be scared, okay? We have to be very fast. Otherwise, let's sync with these guys and how much time we will come back. Otherwise, it's very hard. 10 minutes is enough? Yeah. I think 10 minutes is enough. So guys, we will be back in 10 minutes. You guys want to put the timer?
both has its place, yeah.
Yeah. And the simpler, the better, then people can catch it easy on. So that's the whole point. Okay, okay, guys. Are you still there, or you went also to grab yourselves a coffee from the kitchen? But our kitchen was far away. And our kitchen was much better than your kitchen. Just joking, right? I'm just joking. Alrighty. So, we just did a demo of RAG demo. This demo was like literally the voice AI demo, like voice AI agent demo. Can we open the windows like literally wide open because there's no oxygen? Thank you. Thank you so much. And then after 5 minutes, we can close it down. ماشي بقى انت رزان ماسك بشيل شو كده بقى. تشكرها. Okay, so now what we're going to do in this case is literally implement this RAG ingestment. So we have only 2 pieces of work to do for today. That's for tomorrow. This thing, we can literally, I will even throw it away so that you guys can not see that. And then that's our day today. Tomorrow, we're going to do the entire web application, the Next.js, the Vibe coding, the Claude code, and everything else. Today, at 5 o'clock, Alan is leaving. Are you guys leaving, or you're going to the last soldiers? Yeah. You can stay until 6 o'clock? Yeah. So we will take today time until 6 o'clock, 6, 7, whatever time it takes to finish the content of everything N8N related. If we're done with most of this today, and then hopefully tomorrow we can stay focused entirely on the web application and as well the coding and everything, and then we will have tomorrow more organized. But if we have a lot of leftovers from today to tomorrow, then it will be a little bit hard to kind of like have a nice organized day tomorrow. Therefore, I'm gonna at least personally stay now that I know that Faisal and can I you're Haram, just keep it here. No, keep it here. So when I want to refer to you, I see your name. So Aram and Faisal will stay and Alan will leave, but we'll have a lot of fun building this thing. The legacy is the whole point. And let me see who's still sitting there. 22 people. Nice. Anything I should know about here? Hello from Sri Lanka. Nice. Hey, cool. Michael is here until the end. Thank you. Yeah, because you're on your sofa, Michael. You have a big TV and we are here. I'm just joking. Next time, people who are in Berlin, please come and be here because then we have a little bit more personal contact as well. But we will not lose this online thingy. We'll always do online. All right, step number 1, 2, 3 is starting in about a minute, a second maybe. So before we do that, let me actually walk you guys through what are we going to build. We're going to build the ingestion part first. So let's see the ingestion part here. The ingestion part will be right now until we are done with building it, will be on a click of a button. You click it, it will do some sort of cleanup, and this node it's doing some cleanup. And then on this node, it's taking the entire theory that we went through by going and using an embedding and then coming back and then using a default loader by doing some recursive character splitter and then going back and then saving it here. Like literally when it comes here, and then that's the saving time. So all this execution happens, and then it saves it inside a Supabase database. Okay. So let's go and do these steps step by step by step. I need something to look at. So I'm going to create like a small screenshot and keep it here in the corner of the screen so I can follow by myself and you guys follow me step by step. Click on create new, give your thing a name, call it ingestion pipeline or whatever. And then click on the first step. And then in here, click on trigger manually. And then on trigger manually, double click, and then click on this edit button. Once you're in the edit button, then you need a JSON. Where do you get the JSON from? It's already available on this page. Let me bring it for you. So the JSON for that, I already have something. I'm going to go and bring that one so I don't need to rewrite it. Alan, is it okay if I already shared it on the internet. So you're a public figure now. So you guys can copy it from right there. Right there. That goes to the click even listener. Let's go to the click even listener. In that workflow that we have just created earlier. Ingestion pipeline, in the click even listener, on the edit, paste it, save it, get out of there. Now, if you click on execute workflow, you will see that there's something happened in this thing, there's one item and then this line turned green. This has to happen. For this much, I will give you guys 1 minute. Oh, that's 10 minutes. The goal is to get to this step where you see a green line in one item showing. Okay, I believe that you guys have figured it out. Otherwise, please shout out on, okay, there is one shout out coming. The name of the app that I'm using is called Demo Pro. I got this error problem in Node AI agent, no prompt specified. I think we tackled this question. You have to specify a prompt. Respond to webhook is get mode. Yeah, you need to change it to post mode. I think these are all old questions coming. I get the error AI agent. I'm going to just remove this. I believe these are all resolved questions. It's too late for me to get to this. Oh, this is coming. Like, how do I get anything to trigger by audio? This is coming. This is the next step. So once we finish the ingestion pipeline, and then we will take back the 11 labs, the audio, we get the transcript, we put it back into the system. So therefore, I'm saying like, we're going to sit here until 6 or 7 p.m. And right now it's 3 p.m. So for another 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to be sitting here, building. so that at the end of the day, when we leave this room, we have a full-fledged pipeline with transcripts running, with everything. Like literally, I call Samantha, I say something, it ends up in the database. So that's the ultimate plan. And that's when we will tackle this ticket. How do we speak to init and transcript? Oh, that's coming. That's coming. How do you speak? Oh, why the same question? What is possible participate to workshop in Berlin? It's only possible to participate online. This was a spatial event. Like I thought it's going to be spatial. It turned out to be not spatial because some 900 people, 800 people registered, but only 20 people showed up. It's just that some people around the world have FOMO of filling a form. They just filled the form, but they never showed up. I might not do this anymore. I will do it only in person and relay it to the internet and leave some side artifacts as recordings. But the next one in 30th of August is going to happen in person. So does embedding happen in the return flow as well? I'm not sure what do you mean return flow. Can you please explain that in the upcoming next question? Okay. So I believe you guys are now in here. You could click and then you got this output. Now let's do something with this. What I want to do is click here, step number 1. I forgot to do one thing. Put this thing here. Okay, put this payload there. And you already have the payload. So once you put the payload, you should see this. This should be your ultimate goal. That's the next step to this. Okay, then click here, and then click here, type here, edit field. Edit field set. So those are the next steps you need to do. Why do you need this? The reason is because right now the data comes in a format like this. If you change it to JSON, now you know how to read this because you just got a JSON crash course. You know it how? You see that this is an array, it has an object, starting object, then there's an object, metadata, it has some data, and then some nodes. But we need to put this together. How do we do that? It's very simple. You bring some information together. In order to save time, I already have it in the other workflow. So I'm going to go in the workflow where we just saw. I'm going to go and copy this JSON, and I'll explain it to you in just a minute in the other one. So here, I will leave it to you guys in here, saying that so this code needs to go and be saved in the so I took a screenshot. No, the code base is right now. Oh, indeed, you need to change this to this in order to see this and then paste this. So make sure that you do this change. Maybe I can just do this like this. And then you have to paste it here. All right, so you get all of that in place. You should see something like this. Now, let's demystify this part, this entire part. What is it? When you write something in here as an expression, you will see that it turns green. If I click on this little dot here, you see that it goes in the expanded mode. In this expanded mode, you can see more of this information. Like this. You see the input part. This is the input part. This is the so-called expression part. And this is the result part. Okay? So how does it work is that the input is the information that's coming from here. So for example, this nodes is this nodes, and then the way it looks is here, this entire nodes. This arrow was extra. Anyways, so this full screen will help you do one thing. This full screen will help you digest and understand the entire workflow. How? Like this. So you see that there is like these spatial characters here. This curly braces, this curly braces. This is just indicating n8n that, hey, I'm going to write some expressions, some code. And then there is this $sign saying like, hey, this is a JSON. The JSON that you're seeing there, inside that there is a metadata. Inside that there's full name. Please pick that for me. And that's how we generate full name like this. Where is that full name coming from? From here. Or alternatively, you can also do this. So select this. If it was not there, you can drag and drop it. Okay? Or you can type curly braces, curly braces, curly braces, curly braces. Then you can literally write here JSON. The moment you write JSON, it will auto-complete something for you. In that auto-completion is the thing that you can type enter. And then when you press on dot, then you see this entire window or this entire pop-up opening. And this pop-up contains information that you can see. Like literally, look at this. This metadata refers to this node. This nodes refers to this node. So this is how you navigate through this thing. All of these items. So as name is sitting inside metadata, so I'm going to select metadata and I'm going to click next dot, and then you can see that now full name refers to full name, and then LinkedIn refers to this LinkedIn, and then location refers to the location. So once you have that in place, then you can literally go and then map all of this information. Okay? And this is the outcome you get. That's it. That's all that this field is doing. It's combining all of these things together. Okay? Now the next step for us is to create this Supabase integration. So we're going to create a Supabase vector and then connect the Supabase, and then all of them, they're literally all the default settings of this technology. So I'm going to keep this in a small size in here next to me so I can kind of have a map of what to do next. Okay. So let's go back to our ingestion pipeline thingy. I believe that you guys are already here. And I believe if you execute this, you see this thing and a check mark and everything works fine. So make sure that you're here. Now, what do you do next? You click on the button. Let me put it this way. You first click on this one, same options. And then in here, click on Supabase Vector Store. Supabase Vector Store. Now, once you add that in your vector store, and then you need to select retrieve documents from chain as an AI agent. No. Let me check exactly which node is that so that we don't pick the wrong node. Insert documents. So in here, you go there, click that, and then Supabase Vector Store. Get rank document. Why is there no insert document? Here, insert document. Okay, so that goes like that. Let's go back, back, back. Was it this one? Which one was it? Pardon?
Second, add document.
Add document to vector store.
Yes.
So you select this one after that. Once you select this, then you have this window open for you, which is absolutely fine.
For new user, we have to create credit.
I will actually, this makes sense in this option. We need to add this, like open this and then click this. Okay, once you add this credential, this is important part. Like, where do you get this from? It is coming from your Supabase credentials, okay? So for this, you need to go to Supabase. And where in Supabase? Let's go. So in Supabase, so we need to bring two things. One is the host, and one is the here. One is the host, and one is the service role secret. So in Supabase, I'm gonna let this guy go for a little bit. So in Supabase, you need to create, you need to go to settings. And then after settings, you need to click on, where was it? Database or data API? Yeah, it's there, URL, project URL. So you need to go to data API first, and then you need to copy this thing second. Once you copy that, come back to your thing and then paste it here. Okay. And then the secret thing is in, it is moved there, go to API keys, I think. Yep, secret rule. And then click on API keys, click on reveal, and then copy it from there. Where were we? Here, I think. Okay, reveal, copy, go back to your N8N workflow, paste it here, and then click on save. And this should go green. This arrow key went down. Doesn't matter. It should go green like this. Okay, now I have everything set up. Now from here, I will choose a document. So this, well, just that is enough. Make sure that you pick this one. And what else do we have? And then that's it. This is step. Still more to come. Click on save. Now you get here. This is your kind of like vanilla setup until now. Now what comes next is the embedding. So there is a question coming. I will take it in a minute. I think it's OpenAI embedding. These are the options you need to.
Before the drop-down documents, I think you need to create a table.
Oh, we didn't do those setups. You're right. Because I already had it, I jumped over it. It was super obvious. Yeah, let's do that. Because otherwise you won't be seeing this documents table in the first place. So let's correct that. That's very, very important part. Because you wouldn't be able to get there and see this. So this step goes away. Now you are going to create a table and enable Victor database and Supabase. This is a very important part. Let me think, where did I see that? Docs, I think. And quick start Victor store. Yep, there we go. So then you click on the following links. Click here. And then from there, scroll down and click here. Click here. And then from there, go scroll down and copy this entire thing here. And then go to your Supabase, click on SQL. Click on SQL Editor. And once you're in SQL Editor, you'll see a different UI like this. Click here. Then click here, paste that thing that you got from there. Okay. And then click on Run. Okay. Now you should have something that says it's done. Something that says no rows affected, no rows or something like success, no rows or something. Once that's done, then you should see the table as I see it on this part. Then you should see this documents. You should see this one
Yes.
and this one, right?
Yes.
The chat stream people are extra that I have created, right? You don't see that. You should see documents and RPC match documents. And then Discord chat and Discord histories, and people are my tables. Ignore that. Okay. Now we're 2 steps closer, like really, really close to putting this in place. Then you click this, click OpenAI embedding. What is it called? Here. Click that, click that. And then in here, you need to, we already have the OpenAI API key, so it should just work fine. Like literally leave these settings and click here. These settings as default. Click here. Okay, now what do we have next? We have an obligation to check if the YouTube is running or not. Yeah, it's running. We got some new visitors, 29 people. That's nice. Okay, so I believe that you guys followed so far so well, so slowly, so nicely. And for those of you who don't know where is this thing can be found, this is already shared before, but I'm going to share it one more time here so that you guys can follow me step by step by step. And also you have the timeline here, so you can go back if you're lagging, and then you can follow me what's the next step. And the reason that I'm going anyway slow, so you can already follow along. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Where is the workflow? The workflow is sitting right here. As I said, leave the default settings in there. And then we need to put a document loader. So let's go and see that. Put my map a little bit here next to me so I can follow along what is next, and I'll continue doing that. So the next step in our pipeline is that we want to load the default data loader node. The default data loader is a document loader. It basically loads the text for us, and it does the embedding and chunking as we saw it earlier on our whiteboard session in here. When we said like it takes it, it chunks it, it embeds it. So this part is happening with this document loader. So you need to click. Oh, I forgot to get to the questions. But anyways, so click there. And then from here, get the default data loader. So that's the item you need to pick. I'm coming to the questions in just a minute once we finish this entire thing. Because right now we are in a flow and we just need to keep going on in that manner. So I believe that we leave all of them as it is. Then just click on this button. No changes, just click on the back button. And then, why default data loader is, no, it's the different one. Wait a minute. I need to check it with the other. Load specific documents. Yeah, specified documents. Okay. Because we need to load the JSON merge content, right? So load JSON merge content so that I don't forget this. Okay, I have this little picture here so that I have a little map to go with. And here we're going to do the document default loader, and instead of load all, we load specific data, and then this specific data will come from the data in here. But we don't have any data yet. So what I will do is leave it like this and then execute the workflow so that I get the data in here, and then we can change it. This is an important step. You can get stuck here. Run the workflow first to get the data, and then change it to mode load specific data. Okay, we did that. Now double click here, and then you should see this data like this. And then you should be able to change the, sorry, I clicked on the wrong item. I have to click in here. And if you click on that, maybe I can quickly document that. So you click on that, and then you select this item so that you can grab this thing in here right away like this. So these are the changes, like change this, drag this, drop this here. So change or select load, I just right select, drag and drop. Okay, we're coming so close to the end. And then the text splitting is going to be different. I still have a question. This is correct, but text splitting is going to be custom. Yep, you need to change that to custom. Once you do that, get out of there, and then you should see a UI like this. And then text splitter, then recursive character text splitter, something like this. And we are done. The ingestion is done, and now just keep it as the default. There we go. So now our insertion pipeline is done. If this is correct, and if I change the data to something else, let's say if I change it to Faisal Aman, Berlin, LinkedIn. Let's find Faisal's data. Where did I want to go? Yeah, to the workflow. And I'm going to take some notes to Faisal's memory. When was the first time I met you? It was a long time ago. I'm just going to pretend that. So the first time I met Faisal was in my engagement ceremony 13 years ago. Faisal was way younger than he is right now. I will never forget his name, so this is just an example. Okay. So I'm gonna just save it, and our database do not have Faisal's data yet. If everything works fine, I should see Faisal's record here. Right now, it is Dev, Christina, Alan, not Faisal. Let's run the entire execution. This is a common bug. Refresh. Execute. workflow executed, but it is not chunking. That is worrying. Didn't work. Let's compare these two with the JSON that we have. So this is what you can do as well on your side so that you can find out if this is right or wrong. So I already provided you the JSON template. So this is how you can find your own problems. So this one already in the bottom of the JSON, this is the correct one. So you open this and then compare the two. The one that we have is this one. This one goes away. So this is the correct one with the 26. I'm gonna add a split view with this one, ingestion pipeline. So, and then we can also change the view to be vertically split. Okay, now this one is how to debug, load this one and load the one that I have done. So this one is like what do you call it? Like, I don't know. JSON from Notion, my buggy workflow. This is how you compare it to, like, put them side by side, two monitors or two things, and then like go one by one workflow at a time, like literally one workflow at a time, compare them. So this would be one method to find your bugs. We'll find our bug in just a minute. So our edit field supposedly is the same because we just copy pasted. That's okay. And then we go to this one and then compare them. So that's just a connection name. It could be this thing because I have so many Supabases. Yeah, it's looking at the wrong Supabase then. I think I found it. It has to look at this Supabase. You see the difference? That this one was connected to this Supabase connection. This one was connected to the bug is probably bug is that it doesn't have that feature yet. So if I change it to Supabase NA10, save, execute, still not working, refresh. Execute, still not working. Something else is wrong. So let's continue our search. This is insert, this is document, this is good, this is good. So this looks good to me. I'm gonna execute this one to see, like this one executes everywhere, right? And if I go, the expected outcome here I want to have is something like this. the expected outcome here is like first item, second item. This doesn't,
It's edit field.
pardon?
The first step, edit field, not the superbase.
Oh, it is penned. The data is penned from the test execution. Yeah.
This is from earlier data.
Yeah. Unpenned the data. So perhaps that was the case. The edit field was not being
So now
picked.
it has correct data.
But in here, we didn't map it correctly, you're saying?
No,
No, I think it was just the pen. So now if I run it, there we go. We fixed it. We fixed it because it was edit pen. Like literally this real bug was here. So and then we unpenned it, we executed the thing again, and then it's fixed. Okie dokie. Now, this is done. If I go to, so actually there were two problems. One, it was connected to the wrong Supabase. Second, the data was penned. Like, I don't remember when did I pen the data, but it was penned. So now if I go here and if I refresh, I should see, there we go. We have Faisal's data. Why Alan came again? Because we executed the upper workflow one time as well. So I'm going to just delete this so I don't have garbage data in my database. And now I have Faisal data in place. Okay, now we are done. We're literally done with our first workflow, which is ingestion. And still, we have how many minutes left? 55 minutes left for this session to be stopped. But still, we have a lot more to do. So let me recap what we have done. We have done this part, basically. Ingesting the data of someone in the vector database. This part is done. Now, the retrieval part is left, but let's zoom out and see what we want to achieve and what is done. So we started with this just 20 seconds of putting together a few things and it can talk to you. We still have to connect our 11 labs to our N8 workflows so that this ingestion part can come right away from N8. But before going there, it makes sense that we finish our entire ingestion and retrieval and then start working on putting 11 labs together. So eventually, what I want to do is something like this, that in 11 labs, so 11 labs sends some data to N8, N8 sends it to Supabase. And N8 can have two different workflows, okay? It can have one workflow that is for ingestion, one workflow that is for retrieval. And then it comes back here. And this is our Supabase. So the same workflow, N8 will decide, well, actually it is 11 labs that decides whether to, it's called tool calling. We're going to do tool calling. It's going to be speak. This is going to be ingest or rag, retrieve, ingest or query. And this is going to be return. So this entire loop will happen once we have finished. Right now, we are like literally focusing on this part of the equation. The 11 lab integration is not yet done. We're about to finish this one. The ingestion part is done. The query part is not done yet. as soon as we finish this part, then we will focus entirely on this part on a tiny example with Postman, and then we will go and do the next part, which is the integration of the entire system together from head to toe. That will consider putting all of them in one box so that I can talk, it stores, I can talk, it will retrieve it back. So that is going to be the next step, probably 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock today, our local time, which is now 4:30. So we're done with ingestion. We're just about to start the next step, which is the retrieval part. Who wants to go to break when it's so interesting? Nobody. I don't want to go. You guys want a break? No? Yeah, within half an hour, I think the ingestion part will be done. The query part, because we are now like really in the flow and we know what to do next. Pardon me? Pesh khudbut. Maar pas na di. Oh yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is simple. We will create a new workflow from the scratch. We'll call this workflow query pipeline. And just for me to keep an eye on the map, we have this retrieval pipeline here done. So we're going to put the chat window there, and then we will take this chat window and then turn it into a Q&A and blah, blah, blah. It's good to have like a little tiny thing there so that I can see it as a map in front of me. So for the ingestion pipeline, let me see. Okay, so the ingestion is done, right? This is done with all the debugging and everything, and the final thing was there. Everything is there. Okay. Not sure why did I put that there, but it's okay. So ingestion is done. I'm going to move this to the done column, and let's pick the last piece of work. Well, actually, it's not the last piece of work. Since we said we are going to finish everything today, there is more pieces of work. The next piece of work is to turn ingestion to webhook. Turn ingestion N8N workflow to webhook so that we can kind of test it with Postman and everything. And then we do the same thing for our other one, which is the same thing, but not ingestion, but the query. N8N workflow to webhook. Okay. Those two things, and then after that, wiring LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, 11 Labs to each of them. So if we say integrate 11 Labs with ingestion pipeline, and then integrate 11 Labs with query pipeline. And then we are done, and then we can go home. And I think we can go much faster now because we're in the flow and we can document a lot faster. So let's finish the retrieval pipeline, and then we can go on to the next one. So this is the finished product. So I'm going to just keep this finished product as it is here. And then I'll say step by step guideline. Or tutorial. Now, what do we do here is we create a new one. We put a chat window there. That's right. Click there. Click on the on chat message. So those two steps are there. It will come from here like this. On chat window. And then there is a thing called question and answer chain. It's a node. You need to click there and then question and answer chain. So you need to type that in and leave that there. Question and answer chain. As far as I remember, it was the default one, but let me quickly go and check. That's ingestion, this is retrieval. Yeah, it's the default one. So chat input is coming from the chat window. That's all. Well, this is much easier. Everything here is a default. Everything is a default. Yep, everything is default, default, default. I just need to know the names of the nodes, and then we'll be done in like 2 minutes. So keep all as default, and you should see this. Okay. Now click on the model, and from here choose Open Chat Model, OpenAI Chat Model. Again, keep everything as it is, keep the defaults. And then click here, back to Canvas. You should see this one. And then after that, click on the retriever. And then from here, you need to click on Vector Store Retriever. Vector Store Retriever. This one. Okay. Once the Vector Store Retriever is there, again, keep the defaults and click. Do that. We're getting closer and closer to our goal. Okay, dokie. And then after that, Supabase and then embedding, and that's done. So again, click this one, and then from here, Supabase what? Vector Store. Supabase Vector Store. And again, same thing. No, wait. We need to do this one change, which is selecting the documents. So select the documents, click on Canvas. Okay. Once you're here, you should see this. And then the last step is to put embedding OpenAI. So click this, and then click embedding OpenAI. You are pretty much set. And then leave defaults and click back canvas. Then you should see something like this. Now, if everything is working fine, or if I have done everything fine, then click here, start the chat, and then start asking something. If I ask, what's the name of the person with whom I spoke about kickboxing? And then it should say Alan. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty, man. Look at that. Whew. That was so cool. It just worked like a charm. As I anticipated, it's going to be faster. It was faster. So, what we have done right now in the past 1 hour or 1.5 hours was amazing. We created a full-fledged RAG system, and we still have 40 minutes left to our current live session of 4 hours. And yet, we want to do a few more things. We want to wire things up first with Supabase so that I can show you how to decouple the current chat interface from n8n and put it on an API so that Supabase, 11 Labs can call our n8n workflow, and then we will wire it with Supabase. So let's do that in just a minute. Okie dokie. So we're gonna save everything as this, and I will take the ingestion first as an example. So let me go to the Notion page. Go here, RAG retrieval. Turn this. Okay, RAG retrieval was done. So we're gonna done, and we're gonna turn ingestion into this. Nice, done, click, done, here. So what do we do here? I don't have this workflow in place, so I don't have like the final output as we get there, and then I'll do the final output, and then I'll put the code view of that final output once we're there. All right. So the first step we do is click this, select this, delete this. It's ingestion pipeline. You can see it from the title. So delete this. After that, click here. And then type webhook. And then paste it there. Change this to post. Click that. Okay, so once we are here, then we're almost there. Hey, get out of my face. Okay, so we're almost there, there. Now, pay attention here that this needs to be connected, okay? This needs to be connected. This is an important step. I was giving a demo the other day in IBB Ventures, and I had a bug, and then I literally found it last minute. Let's take a small detour, and I show you the same bug that happened in a live environment for me, and that was so embarrassing. But I was lucky enough to find it here. So I am giving this live demo, and then somewhere here, it's not working. It's not working. I'm doing everything, it's not working, and then suddenly I find that, oh my God, it's not connected properly. So now it is connected, but just a few seconds before it was not connected, but you can find it from there. You can see it. And I was doing an actual live demo in here where I met the co-founder of Quadrant or Quadrant, CEO and co-founder of Search thing. I met the co-founder of Wonderflats. This is the co-founder of Wonderflats. And I also had a nice little walk of Abbanov walking and talking about AI agents. So I recommend you watching that. It was 2 days ago. Back to business. So make sure that this is connected by drag and dropping it like this, okay? Now, that is there. This is a post. Let's do a few things. Click here, like this. It should be in this listening mode. Put the webhook in listening mode. How you get there is easy. You click it and then you click on listening mode and copy the URL. I believe that by now, if you follow this many steps, then you find your way out on how to copy the URL. So you copy the URL, go to your Postman, and then you create a new, click here, change this to post, paste this here, go here, change this to raw, change this to text JSON, and then in here, post something. We're working on the ingestion, right? So the ingestion, we already have the ingestion data in somewhere in that node, in the other node. Let's bring it from there. Ingestion in this click node. So I'll just copy this entire thing, this entire JSON from here, bring it here, copy it here, and also copy this for the payload, and then what you do is click that, paste that there. So it goes like this: click, change, paste, click on the body, click on this one, change this here, and then paste everything here. So it goes like this. click, select, paste, webhook URL that you brought it, select, 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 and finally paste. So those are all the steps for setting it up. And hold on a second. We have one more step to do. Step number 8. Click. Click on the send button. So this should take you to, in this moment, it's important when you click, I will write a note here. That's not my intention. So note, make sure that the n8n workflow is running, as it has a timeout and it can stop listening after some time. So what does it mean? Like, go to your page and make sure that you're there. Well, I'm not even there anymore, so it would not work anyways. So I'm back here in the ingestion pipeline. In this webhook post, make sure that this is running. This is always in running mode. Yes. So you're welcome. Now I'm going to put this on one side, and I'm going to put the Postman on the other side, and I will try to run it. That's running, that's running, that's running, and I'll try to click on send. Let's see what happens. By the way, before I click on send, let's see what is here. We have Alan's data, right? We have Alan's data. I'm going to remove Alan's data. So Faisal, Christina, and Dev can stay. Alan can go away. Why? Because if this works, then I can insert Alan's data not from a click inside my workflow that I already have. Here. Not with a click, but what we're trying to do right now is changing the click to a webhook. So if it works, then everything is going well. I'm going to refresh the page, make sure that everything is settled down correctly. And then I'm going to click on send. There we go. Wonderful. It apparently worked. So what happened here was now let's go and check first the database, and then we can do the documentation for the Notion page in just a minute. If I come here and refresh the page, voila. It worked, but there is something undefined. Like you can see, it says undefined. It couldn't find the name called Alan or the full name or something. And for the matter of fact, everything was undefined. Look, everything is undefined. This is a bug. And how to fix this bug is as following. We'll go here. In the edit field, we double click, and then we see everything is undefined. Why? We know JSON now. We know that, okay, it's here, here, here. Or we can also switch it to schema, so it's easier to navigate and see. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. We can see that this doesn't exist on this because it's inside the body now. So if I click this and then go here and then drag and drop the full name, sorry, that's the wrong one, here, this full name, here you'll see that this is body, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because it's not coming from the click anymore, it's coming from the webhook. So that needs to be remapped accordingly. So let me quickly document this. How can I do that? Okay, yeah, I think you will find your way out to this place. I will document a little bit here. Drag and drop each field to update the mapping. So that's how you update the mapping. So the LinkedIn data goes here, the location goes there, and you get the drill. It's the same thing. In this case, it was only a few questions, but it could be multiple questions. It could be a lot more questions. The notes goes right here. All right. So once that is done, I'm going to do one more test. I'm going to save, refresh, keep it on the right side. On the left side, my postman goes. And this is the moment of truth. Refresh the page, jump over that bug, run, execute. Bye-bye, see you tomorrow. Now we see everything was executed properly. If we go to our NA10, now I have Alan not with undefined, but with Alan like this. So we're going to delete the one that was with undefined just to keep our system tidy. And everything is okay. It has the embedding, it has the vectors and everything properly done. Now, I would like to quickly update this part. So what happened was we send this JSON, well, it's just a success message. I'll just keep it there. Because I already explained this exact similar thing, I don't need to re-explain it. When I was doing it with the other Postman thingy, it was just done. Okay, so we have successfully now converted one thing into a database. So now the point is, how can we integrate this? So what's next? For us, next is that the integrate 11 Labs with ingestion pipeline. That will come to use this API and send this kind of a payload to this API. Or perhaps in between, we will need another payload to clean it up and then put it together like that. So at least this particular workflow is done. We have converted that workflow into an API. So we can literally turn this into the done column. Go down. Go down. Okay. So now let's go and do the same thing with query so that I can use a query endpoint to do the same thing. So I will go and open. Okay, there were a lot of questions here. I will tackle the questions first. Still don't know the reason of the phase. What's that phase? I don't know what's phase. Can you please explain that question again? We don't have the table documents. Yeah, this was tackled. I explained that. I have this error on my Supabase. A document sub node must connect enable. Document subnode connected. I'm not sure. This is not a common error. I haven't seen it. Maybe you can watch the video later on tonight and see if you can still see that problem. But we can tackle it tomorrow if you still face it again. Supabase doesn't work with free plan. Yes, please get a plan if that doesn't work. I don't know. If that's a question, I saw the question mark now. I don't know. I think I have my credit card there, so I don't know. work for me, the same thing you did. Okay, good. So Weebase metadata values LinkedIn name be inserted in the actual metadata column. Yeah, it's good to put it there so that it saves it and have it there. Okay, all the questions tackled. Let's go to converting the next workflow into an API, and then we take the API to the next part. Okay. So what's next? For me, we have the ingestion pipeline done. Let's go and bring the query pipeline. The query pipeline is right now on the chat widget. So step number 1 is remove this. Okay, dokie. Step number 1 is remove that thing. Once you removed it, then click here, we'll add, and same concept, webhook. And same concept, change this to post, click, change this to post, click on the back canvas. Once you do that, again, don't forget to kind of like connect this thing. Okay, okay. Once the connection is done, then you need to okay. Now it's the time to do the payload test thingy. So go to your Postman, add a new one, change this to post. The URL copy happens here. I'm gonna just copy it, paste it, body, JSON, raw, text, JSON. Here, the query needs to be something like this, query, and then the question, whatever it is. Who was the person with whom I spoke about kickboxing? And then I'm gonna just copy this. Payload JSON. I forgot to do one more thing here. I said I'm gonna do it, and then I forgot, which is this one. I copy the curl and paste the curl somewhere in the webhook that we have created here, just right here before this. Postman C URL so that you guys can copy it in one go or you step by step follow it like this. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. So that's the payload, but we'll get the curl and we'll come in and update that with the curl later on. All right, so we have now this post, this thing, and here we have this thing listening, okay? Now if I refresh this just for the sake of that, jumping over that bug, and then I click on send, you see it happens, but it gives that error. So answer chain doesn't know about our question yet. You will end up in this step. That's fine. You end up in this step. Then what happens next? You click on this, and then you click on define below, and then you click on, let me go quickly refresh my brain. What was the so let me go and find out the how much time do we have? We have 17 minutes. I think it's going to be done by then. So we're going to go and find out what was the query in here. So we're going to connect chat node. Okay, that was a chat node, and it's going to be different now because we're not from chat node. So it's all on my own. I don't have any source for this. It's going to be entirely on my own. So we're going to execute this one more time so that I can get the data. Refresh. Execute is still defined. I'm going to say connect. Execute so I can get the data from the payload. Once I get the data from payload, as you guys can follow, this was exactly the situation where we ended up, like with this green thing going on. Don't change anything. Go here, and then you see the payload in here. So this is these steps that you need to follow. These are important steps. What do you do next? Click on define, and then drag and drop the query. Something like that. Select, drag and drop. Okay. Now, if I rerun this, refresh, rerun, and have this thing running, run it, it will work. The entire workflow works, but I don't get a response. I'll have no response, but everything worked. I'll explain why that happens, and then we will find the solution for that in just a minute. I know the solution. I will explain the solution. Okay, so the reason is because look at this. Like it happened in 100 milliseconds, and that's not normal because all of that thing until it got me back, Alan, took some time. It's not 100 milliseconds, it's more. But there is a feature here that says immediately. So you need to change that to respond to webhook. So you need to change that. Once you do that, then you need to do a few more steps. I'll explain. You change that to respond to webhook, and then you get out, and then you click on this thing, respond to webhook. I think these are the things we did previously, right?
Yes.
So then I don't need to document it intensively. So I put this respond to webhook in the workflow, and I save it, refresh it. And now, if I keep executing it, and I click on send, and there we go. So this entire workflow went from here to here. And then a lot of executions happened in here. All the jumble mumble, and then came here. And then this workflow brought everything to us, this response. So this was our HTTP request happening. This was our HTTP response coming back. So this was the end of turning this API, this workflow into an API. We're pretty much done with this part as well. So now I have turned that particular workflow into an API that now I can then connect the two of them together, and still we have 11 minutes left. Pretty much on time and even before time. Alrighty. So what we do next is interesting. No questions coming. Let me check the YouTube. The YouTube says that still it's running. It's an empty space on YouTube. Can you position that either on me or on you? Oh, okay. So I have this feature in this. Let me run it here. Wait. Tiny 4K camera. It has a zoom feature. Work. It's too far away. I think it can't recognize my face. Oh, there you go. And it should zoom in. No, not zooming in. Never mind. That's fine. I think it's tracking my face now. No? Fine. That's fine. Let me see if there is any question or something coming. So, Kason, you're sad. Sorry to see you sad, but if you go backwards, we explain everything about JSON. You should get a lot of insights on that. I see there are a lot of people talking about everything, but it's hard to keep up. Amir from Hamburg, come to Berlin, my friend, at least in one of the AI Builders monthly meetup or my workshops. I'm a co-host of AI Berlin. AI Builders Berlin. Okay. All right, so everyone is done, and let's go to the next step. So we have still around 10 minutes to the stream to go bust. So we have been streaming for 3 hours and 36 minutes. Let's give it another 10 minutes, and then we will stop it. Otherwise, Riverside will kick us out anyways. Okay, so let's just zoom out and in these 10 minutes, kind of like recalibrate and kind of like do one thing that, where is it? Amal's iPhone, it should have changed. Oh, there's a question coming. Oh, that's a good thing. Like for the next 10 minutes, I would like to take questions. Amal, how can I grasp the code from your Notion pictures? The ones that are important, I have left it like this so that you can copy it like this. So there is no code that I haven't done. Oh, almost forgot. I'm going to copy this entire curl here. Postman. There we go. So you can copy the code like that, and go to your Postman, click on import, paste, enter. It will autofill everything that you need to do as it goes. All right, any other question? Please, time to do questions because I'm stopping and restarting the session in 7 minutes. Important note, the reason that I'm currently doing this stopping in 7 minutes is not that we are going anywhere. We're restarting the session right away. We're not taking a break. We will resume right away to finish the work. What's next is the next two pieces of work, which is going to be, okay, so we turn the query. This one is done. So let's move this one as well to the bottom of the done thing. The next one is going to be integrate ElevenLabs with ingestion pipeline. So the next one that we're going to do is speak to a phone number, and we talk about something, and then it goes and then stores in the Supabase so that we can retrieve it later on. And then the next one will be retrieving. The reason we are cutting the session in about 6 minutes is a limitation of Riverside. It goes stupid after 4 hours. I'm not sure if it's still going stupid or not, because and then you lose the screen recording, so on like that. No, it's working fine. So questions. Shoot me questions. Shoot me questions. I caught up with the. Can you again explain the role of Postman? Okay, Amir is asking if I can explain the role of Postman. Yes, absolutely. Let me explain that. So the reason we have Postman is for the following reason. Where's my Excalibur? Let's put that one. It's okay. By the way, I'll provide the Excalibur drawings. All of these drawings will come to the Notion page as an Excalibur file. I'll just show it here. Voice AI Agent Workshop. Let's put it on the downloads folder for easy access. And I will add it like this somewhere where. Let's put it here. Can I put the download here? No, I can't. It has to be a page. Huh? Let's just put it as an item in progress, and then I'll move it. Excalibur drawing file. Okay, so I will put this thing here. How do I do the attachment? How can I upload a file from my computer? File, upload, please. Choose file. Downloads, voice Excalibur ting. So you guys will get this JSON file. This is also a JSON actually. JSON is everywhere, so you need to learn JSON. Excalibur is, I think, one word. And then you download this file. You go to Excalibur. I'm gonna show it to you in my other browser so that it's excalibur.com, I think. And then you go to this page. Wait. Open. Go here. Go here. And then open the file that I sent you. Click on open, and voila, you get the entire Excalibur diagrams. The reason I'm going to keep it in progress is that we keep adding new diagrams as we go, and I will keep uploading this file and changing this file so that I don't forget to do that. Therefore, we are going to keep it in the in progress field. All right. With that being said, we have like 2-3 minutes left for the 4 hours time limit. I will quickly go through the YouTube and see if there's another question coming. Yeah, I was going to explain the reason for Postman. I'll do that in just a minute. Let's see what Ashkat is saying. So we are working with two pipelines, ingestion and query, yes. Could you please go through on a high level quickly to recap what each workflow is doing step by step? Sure. I will answer two questions in the next 2-3 minutes. I think we have more than 2-3 minutes because right now we are running at 39 minutes. So we have 20 minutes before the things go haywire. So there are two questions. One is, why do we need Postman? We answered that in here. We said there's something called API, Application Programming Interface. It is a way to connect two systems together. These two systems could be ElevenLabs and n8n for us. ElevenLabs will send a request to n8n saying that, hey, what is that person with whom I spoke about kickboxing? And then it comes back and it says, it was Alan. I can keep talking to my bot each time I want to test n8n, but it's not convenient. Postman is a developer tool. I don't need to keep talking. I have the payload in one place, and I just click on send, and then I can test the entire workflow on n8n. So I don't need to kind of like I take the entire n8n workflow in isolation, test it. Once it's done, obviously not with ElevenLabs, with Postman, and then I will just switch system A from Postman to ElevenLabs. That's why we need this system. And we spoke about that again in this diagram in here. When we said like ElevenLabs does a tool calling to n8n, n8n does an ingestion or a query to Supabase, and right now we're like literally focusing here. And then after that, we're gonna kind of like do the entire replacement. So we could do this testing because Postman was there. We literally isolated the n8n workflow in its own environment and tested it against this API call. And then we are now sure it's going to work, and then we are going to go to ElevenLabs integration. So therefore, we use Postman. The next question was if I can explain this in higher level, what are these two workflows? I will do that in just a minute. So the first workflow is ingestion pipeline. In the ingestion pipeline, what we do is as following. We created this as a webhook so that an external service can do an API call for us, like we have done it here. There's an ingestion pipeline. It sends some data, and that some data is, where is our ingestion pipeline? It's this one. So that some data is something like this. Some metadata, some LinkedIn, some name, and some memory nodes. And this URL is basically this API. It's exposed to the world. We haven't yet talked about putting it in production by turning on this toggle button. We haven't yet talked about security by putting some authorization, authentication, and so on. Those are advanced topics that could be done at a later stage. But for now, it's kind of like the introductory steps, having built an entire application together. And then we did an edit field. Why did we do this? So that we can kind of like clean it up and put it in merge content, like put it in a way that's clean up, ready for ingestion. After that, we created this node that is a native node. There are like around 500 nodes in n8n. This is one of them, which is a vector search. And then we connected it with Supabase. We chose the operation. We said it should insert the document. And then we selected which table should we insert. When we did the configuration of our n8n Supabase integration, we found some information from the documentation of N8N Supabase, where we copy pasted some, must be somewhere here. We went here, and then we found that we can copy paste a bunch of information here. From here, we found this code. We went there and we executed it in here in SQL Editor. And this created these tables, this table in a remote procedure, which allowed the N8N to show this document in here. It created this one and it created this match document, RPC. And then we selected that one, and then we added an embed keyword, all with default settings. This one was not default. We changed it to load specific data, and then we added this specific data. We drag and dropped it and mapped it. And then after that, we added this recursive character text splitter, and then it all went and did the ingestion. The query pipeline was again something that we turned it into an API so that an external service. For now, Postman, later on after the restart of Riverside, it will turn this endpoint, this API, endpoint and API are interchangeable terms, will send data to this webhook from 11 Labs to N8N. And then we added this question and answer node. We changed this to define below. We added the query coming from the API. And then in the webhook, we also changed this to respond to webhook. And we added the respond to webhook and then left it as the incoming first item. That's why the response to this question, if I run it quickly, will be the response coming back from the database, which is like this one, Alan Mikic. And it's not 100 milliseconds anymore, it's 1,400 milliseconds because it is the entire time that it goes and then takes the execution and so on. And then we added this chat model. We added the vector retriever. This was based on the default settings. And then we added this one. We changed this and selected documents from here. The rest of them were the same. And then we added the embedding. It was also all default settings. So now we are in a situation where we have everything set up as it should have. I'm going to restart this session. And in the next session, we are going to integrate 11 Labs with N8N so that we have like a full-fledged voice AI agent that you can talk to. It stores your talks related to a specific LinkedIn profile. How do we get the LinkedIn profile over a voice bot is a question that we will resolve tomorrow with our vibe coding session. But right now in the next session, probably that next session won't be for 4 hours. It might be for 1 hour or 2 hours. I don't know exactly how much time it will take. But in that session, you will know how to connect our great 11 Labs product with our great N8N products to European proud companies I love to use and educate people about. But I'm not just European, I'm an international person. I love all the companies. I love Vapi, I love OpenAI, I love all the other companies as well equally. There are a lot of other automation tools like Make.com, Lendy, Clay.com, Relevance AI, and a bunch of others. Zapier, you can name it. Like all of these low-code, no-code can be put together all like this. And I'm not sure if only days at 48 hours, I would create one course per item. But speaking of courses, just to reiterate, I have just finished my N8N and vibe coding course, and you should definitely not miss that. It's coming out very, very soon. So better you subscribe so that you can get a notification, because lecture number 57 was uploaded this morning. I'm gonna put captions and everything and release it very soon. You can see all of those lectures are not so big, like 10 minutes, 17 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 minutes, 23 minutes, 3 minutes, 9 minutes, 16 minutes, and so on, and it just keeps going on. And I have built an amazing web application in that. in that amazing web application. And this is an extremely detailed course showing you how to build a voice AI agent that answers this one, that answers leads or qualifies leads on a voice bot. Let me show you guys. All right, so this is the web application we built. It has a backend in Supabase. It has a lot of features. It has a Kanban where you can move things around. Each of these Kanban is one lead that came from a contact form. Somebody filled a contact form. In that contact, that phone number was called by the voice AI agent to enrich that field. Alex Hormozi, in one of his videos, says, let me see, Alex Hormozi, call back in 60 seconds. In that 60 seconds, he says, in this video, 21 seconds video, he says that it's a So I took that Alex Hormozi's idea and I turned a product around that. Let me send you guys, maybe you didn't hear that. Let me send you guys that thing in here so you can watch it later by yourself. So what's the main product that I'm building here in that course is something that Alex is saying, like within 60 seconds, if somebody calls a lead, the chances of that increases by 391 seconds. And that's a Harvard Business School study showing that. So the moment somebody fills your contact form on your website, they receive a phone call from Samantha, from an AI, voice AI agent. And I taught that. And you see a dashboard like this. This is something that we build inside this course. It's a 100% free course. It's coming out. Right now it's at 57 lectures. Probably it's going to go to 60, 70 lectures. I got busy. I didn't want to hold it up on my laptop. I uploaded it. I'm releasing it tomorrow. Hopefully tonight I can finish all the titles. And tomorrow you will get it, or maybe the day after tomorrow or whenever. And then until you guys keep reaching to 57 lectures, I will already finish the rest of the lectures, maybe 20 more lectures. And then you get to know to build like this. Look at that beautiful piece of thing. All the calls that went to the user, all the transcripts of that, the email communication. If somebody didn't pick the call, they will receive an email from Samantha. And email communication happens back and forth. And then each time something happens, then Samantha evaluates them, qualifies them or not. And then you can take some notes here about that particular moment. And then you can have like a little bit collaboration with your colleagues about that particular one. And all of that happens on one platform. And then you can search, you can filter. This is amazing. What's possible? This is all done with vibe coding. Like the amount of beauty in this one little application happening all in one go. Like you can add leads by yourself. You can trigger calls from here and so on. It's all done in that course. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can get the latest notifications. With that, see you in just a minute in the next session. We'll take like a small break. Put the timer for yourself. We'll take a break of 15 minutes. I'm putting a timer right away here on my phone. The reason I'm giving this 15 minutes break is I'm okay. I can go. Put a timer up for yourself. Come back in 15 minutes. Is because if I initiate a Riverside session right away, it connects it to the existing session. And then this 5-10 minute session that I have will not work. And then it will go beyond the time limit. And then it will start crashing. So right now we are at 357. Like in 3 minutes, it starts crashing. I think it already started crashing. No, it's working fine. It's working fine. Nice. So we are going to see each other in 14 minutes and 17 seconds. See you guys. Bye. And we're going to make an amazing voice AI agent. Another one, actually. We have been building a lot of voice AI agents lately. See you, see you. Where is Riverside? Stop the. There we go. And stop.